Welcome back in NFL Daily. I am Tom Downey. We're taking a look at the 2025 Divisional Round playoff picture for the NFL. We'll focus mostly on the NFC since those games getting finalized, the matches getting finalized on Monday night. Here's where things sit. Lions, Eagles, Rams, and the Commanders advance to the Divisional Round. We got Commanders at Lions and Rams at Eagles. Over in the AFC, it was the top four seeds all won, although the Chargers-Texans game was a upset in terms of the odds and everything on that front. Texans at Chiefs, and then, what a game between the Ravens at the Bills. I think that is the game of the divisional round. We'll mention all the times here since those have come out since my boy Tyler Jones handled the AFC playoff overview. We'll focus on the NFC matchups here, but I do want to mention the times here. Texans at Chiefs, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday on ESPN. Fox gets the Commanders at Lions game, 8 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. Rams, Eagles, 3 p.m. Sunday on NBC. Kind of a weird time slot for NBC, but how can you not put Ravens, Bills in the 6 p.m. Eastern slot? I'm sure CBS giddy over that matchup. That one just sounds absolutely incredible. Now, we will have NFL playoff coverage for you, including all the watch parties you could want for every single playoff game. We'll have those coming up Saturday, Sunday. Then Monday night, by the way, college football playoff championship game. Hit that sub button so you don't miss out. YouTube.com/chatsportstv. Let's kind of briefly look at these divisional round matchups here. First up, the Commanders on the road against the Lions. It's the rest versus rust conversation again. The Lions are a big favorite in this game. 9.5-point spread for a playoff game. What is this, a CFP quarterfinal matchup? Lions have the number one scoring offense. They've had a top 10 scoring defense this year as well. The Commanders' offense has been really good. The defense has been a little bit shaky. They did gut out a very impressive win for the first time in a long time in Washington. 23-20 over Tampa Bay. It sure looked like at points that was going to be a win for Tampa, but some self-inflicted wounds really hurt the Bucs, and the Commanders delivered. They came up clutch when it mattered the most, defense and offense, a very impressive 23-20 win. The Lions had clinched the number one seed and a bye back in Week 18. It is their first time securing the number one seed in franchise history. They have home field advantage throughout the playoffs as long as they, of course, continue to win. More on this game to come, but who you got? C for the Commanders, L for the Lions. Let me know in the comment section of today's show. The pin comment. The ad comes here on YouTube. Go vote C or L. We won't go crazy in depth on these guys because most of these guys are names you should have heard. And we'll begin with the quarterback, Jaden Daniels, who has, I think, the clear-cut Rookie of the Year, has been everything the Commanders wanted him to be this year. Dual threat, isn't at some questions I've got when he gets outside of the pockets and if you get some speedy guys on him, as the Cowboys were able to do at times this year, other teams have been able to do. There can be some issues there. Him clutch though in the postseason, 69% completion rates. This is a very talented player who I'm sure will look towards Terry McLaurin plenty in this particular game. Scary Terry doesn't get moved around much in the Cliff Kingsbury offense, still went for 1,000 yards this season. Still had a very productive 2024 campaign. There's a lot to like about him. The Lions have been so banged up on defense, he's going to cause problems for them. Brian Robinson Jr. is next up here. This is the running back who is not that far away from a 1,000-yard campaign. Still has 200 yards to go at the end of the regular season, so we're not going to count playoff stuff on that front. He's a big, powerful runner. The Commanders like to do runs and bubble screens and RPOs on early downs especially. I think you'll see plenty of Brian Robinson in this game against the Lions. Defensively, Jonathan Allen missed a lot of time this year, but is back. And that is a big deal for a Lions team that loves to run the football and is a very, very heavy play-action team as well. A great way to help limit some of those things is to get pressure from the interior. If Allen's numbers don't pop off the screen, he missed a bunch of time this year. He's a very talented defensive tackle alongside Daron Payne as well. I want to mention at least one back seven player and one front seven player for all these teams here. I don't always do it, but whatever. Frankie Luvo, the linebacker, the blitzer, the hybrid piece. He is a lot of fun to watch. This is one of my favorite free agents in last year's class. Not surprising to me that Dan Quinn is able to maximize him. 99 tackles, 8 sacks, 12 TFLs. He's going to be all over the field in this matchup. The Lions players to watch here, Jared Goff, the quarterback, who has been, I will give, I think Lions fans get a ton of credit here, and Ben Johnson. How about a fan base embracing a quarterback who really wasn't viewed as a top 10 guy when they made the trade for him? The Rams wanted out. It's worked out pretty damn well for both sides. We were talking about the Jared Goff contract when the trade happened as being a negative asset. Well, now it's been a positive. And he has done a lot of really good stuff for the Lions. This entire organization has maximized him, and some vice versa there as well. Now, with David Montgomery still banged up, and we'll see if he's able to return at all in the postseason. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get a big-time workload. He is an electric football player. I think for a postseason run, you're not hypothetically worried about his workload. I think it's just like, let's ride. And I think Gibbs will have plenty of success for the Lions this postseason. One of my favorite slot receivers in the NFL, which, because the Sun God is just an elite name, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, I'm very curious how the Commanders try to cover the Lions' secondary. They've mostly used Marshawn Lattimore and Mikey Sainristil on the outside. I would like to see Sainristil play nickel, which I think he can do, against St. Brown. I don't love a Noah Igbinoghene matchup nearly as much as a Sainristil matchup on the outside. And hopefully Benjamin St-Juste doesn't have to play it off for the Commanders. I am going to break my rule about front seven player here. Two of my favorite players on the Lions, and you can go back to our draft coverage, and I liked them a lot coming out too. Brian Branch, first up here. He does everything for the Lions. He covers, he run supports, he blitzes. He was a top 10 player for me coming out of Alabama, and the Lions got him in round 2, and they are reaping the benefits of that. Number 5 for me is Kirby Joseph, who I also like his game a ton as that rangy free safety. I think should be getting Defensive Player of the Year consideration. Man's got 9 interceptions this year, plus 83 tackles. The Lions defense has been able to, despite a ton of injuries, be able to maximize what they've been able to do on the field. And I think a lot of credit there is owed to Aaron Glenn, the DC, as well. Today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. It is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. It is playoff time. It's now or never. Don't miss out on the last few weeks of playoff action, of football action with Prize Picks. Go up to 1,000 times your money. Do the flex play. Get one wrong, still come out on top. Lamar Jackson more than, Josh Allen more than on the ground, and Joe Mixon touchdown. Just the more than there. It's an aggressive one, but run game looked a little bit better at times for Houston last week. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. Let's talk divisional round. The Rams at the Philadelphia Eagles. Shout out to the Rams. Really impressive win as far as I'm concerned. They've been banged up a decent amount this year. It is not often you see a team with an even scoring offense, scoring defense, like the points scored and points allowed, making it to the divisional round. But I think you got to give the Rams a ton of credit for what they did against the Vikings. And the way they have kind of salvaged their season. The Rams began this year 1-4. They didn't look like a playoff team. Then the bye week came, and they've gone 9-3 since then. And that includes, by the way, not really trying against the Seahawks in Week 18. Now, they did have a loss against Philadelphia mixed in there. They took advantage of Sam Darnold not looking good against any sort of pressure, and they handled the Vikings with ease, frankly. Now, Philadelphia, I was kind of unimpressed by that performance against the Green Bay Packers. The passing offense was bad to start. It looked almost skittish for Philadelphia with like what they were trying to do. Saquon ran really well. That's going to be a huge matchup, of course, in this game. But who you got? R for the Rams, E for the Eagles. Get those votes in for me in the comments section of today's show. Let's talk Rams players to watch again. Some obvious names. Matthew Stafford. always seems to deliver in some of the bigger moments for this Rams team. Maybe not so much for the Lions, but for the Rams, yes. Numbers are a bit down this year. He's obviously battled a variety of injuries in the past, but he is a proven quarterback in the postseason. There will be a lot of targets for Puka Nacua. At times, it just feels like, especially with Matthew Stafford, the number one receiver gets all of the targets. Nacua missed a bunch of time this year and still has 84 grabs for 1,000 yards. Cooper Kupp has been not as impactful as of late, but Nacua is going to get plenty of action. Kyron Williams also matters for this Rams team. McVay, I even think when they won the Super Bowl, to a fault, was a bit too committed to trying to run the football. Kyron's got 332 carries this season. There are very few players in the NFL who have had that level of workload this season. It has been a heavy, heavy dosage of Kyron Williams all season long. Like, even going into the postseason, of course, as well. He's been massively involved there. Jared Verse, the pass rusher, the rookie pass rusher. This is I made the comment, I'm going to do one front seven, one back seven player. I cheated on half of them. Whatever. Jared Verse. I like what I've seen. I think the impact is even higher than the 4.5 sacks suggests. For an Eagles team that has a dominant offensive line, the best in football by a pretty massive margin, that likes to run the football, the front four has to show up for the Rams. That's Byron Young, that's Jared Verse, that's Bobby Brown, and it's Kobe Turner. And Braden Fisk, of course, in there as well. I like Kobe Turner. He ain't no Aaron Donald, but he has been, even with Donald no longer alongside of him, double-digit sacks for an interior defensive lineman means you are among the best at your job. And I think you need big games out of this Rams front. Over to Philadelphia, Saquon Barkley, the back, has been 2,000-yard season, and the regular season has been nothing short of incredible. So far this year, he has been awesome at everything he does and tries to do, etc. I'm a huge fan of Saquon's game. I think this is like, I think offensive line can like raise your ceiling or raise your floor. Eagles have the best floor-raising offensive line. Running backs can elevate your ceiling. Saquon might be the best ceiling-raising back in the NFL. It's a perfect marriage. Jalen Hurts, I do need more from Hurts than what I saw in that last playoff game. I do think the game plan from Kellen Moore, and if you want to blame Nick Sirianni, whatever, that's not the best game plan. I just need a little bit more consistency from the passing game out of Jalen Hurts. I think getting the ball to A.J. Brown would also benefit them. There are times it's just like, how are you not getting him involved? And yet A.J. Brown reading a book that was like the 300,000th ranked book on Amazon. Now it's number one because the NFL is so damn attention-grabbing. Let's get A.J. Brown going. I don't think these Rams corners are that great. I think A.J. Brown could have a big, big game. Number 4 is Zach Bond. Talk about a guy that made maybe more money outside of maybe Sam Darnold than any other player this NFL season. Was a cheap signing for the Eagles. It was like, hey, maybe it can be a stopgap option for us. That dude has an all-pro caliber season, or at least a Pro Bowl caliber year. 151 tackles, 5 forced fumbles, TFL, sacks, pass breakups. He has been awesome this year for Philadelphia. He'll be a big factor with the way the Rams like to run their offense. And then there's also Quinyon Mitchell. They stick him on Puka Nacua. For a rookie, he's been really good. I don't care that he has 0 interceptions. You don't go look at some of the advanced numbers. He is not getting beat very often. I mean, he's already getting some of like this guy's an elite corner. He kind of gets the benefit of the doubt on flags. That doesn't happen very often for first-year guys. And I mean that in a positive way. Mitchell's a damn good player. He's going to be counted on against Puka Nacua and company.